Okay, welcome everyone to another exciting Saturday Cup of Joe with Bill and Lim. Bill has a great haircut today. He's looking all young again. Looks like a young little lad. You like a great little lad there, Bill. It has been such a busy week, and we're so excited you guys are joining us today. Even those who are on the late show that's watching the replay, we're excited to have you too. Yeah, you know who you are. So it's all good. Wow, it's very, very nice here in Dallas. It was very hot this week. What about you, Bill? Where are you at this week?
Yesterday was really nice. It was 74 yesterday, so it was like perfect temperature.
Right.
And perfect sunny. Today's going to be the same way, actually. So. And then,
I was driving down the street yesterday, and I was telling Mary how we need to keep the windows down and for the respect of Bill because he probably has cold weather, and she didn't understand. And I was like, yeah, every time we go somewhere, Bill and Andy wants to have the windows down or the rooftop over, and I'm like, they're nuts. They love the sun.
We do, man.
Oh my goodness. That is crazy. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so today, guys, we are going to talk about publishing a book, writing a book, everything you need to know about being an entrepreneur, all the great things that comes with that. We have a very, very awesome guest, Mr. Robert Nahas. I probably jacked up the last name, but it's okay. He said it's all right. Most people do. Was I close?
Perfect pass, man.
Awesome. Robert, where are you? First of all, thanks for joining me today. And where are you coming from? Where are you calling from?
You're welcome, man. It's a pleasure to be on here. So I'm in Tampa Bay, Florida area.
Oh,
okay. You want to know location?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, nice, very nice.
Yeah, it's really beautiful out right now. We had a cold spell. We call it a cold spell. It's been it's been in the high 70s, low 80s, and so we're really enjoying the lack of humidity right now. So it's like super right now.
That's wow. Florida with a cold spell. Huh. Interesting. Oh wow. What is the world coming to, man?
It's all relative, you know.
Right, it is. It all works out, you know. But with Bill being in Pittsburgh, it's always cold, regardless. So he just needs to move, period, and get away. Awesome. Yeah. So let's get into this thing, and let's talk first about, we're gonna get into where you started and all that. But how were you as a child, man? I mean, I like to hear people's stories, how they started out, when they got out of high school and gotten to where you are right now. How were you as a child, like a young lad? How were you?
Oh man, that's a good question. Holy cow! Oh man, so you want the PG version or?
Hey, let's keep it real. This is a show that people are waking up and they're like, "Ooh, did he just say that?"
People's definitely gonna spill their coffee on themselves.
That's right. Give us the raw deal here. So what's going on?
Yeah, that's so funny. Oh gosh. Well, I grew up in a small town in Connecticut called New London.
Right.
And went to a school, grammar school, first eight grades, right? Just right down the street, on the same street. I just walked literally like maybe 200 yards to school. That was pretty cool. And there was a candy store on the corner on the way. So it was perfect, It just got all drugged up on sugar on the way to school and on the way back. And so I think in a lot of ways I was your typical kid. In high school, I got into wrestling and really, really enjoyed that. That was really the only sport I did. And I think for the most part I was a good kid. I'd like to think that way.
Don't we all? Hey, I'll tell you what, listeners, I would bring my mother on here and to prove you I was a good kid. I was one of those kids.
Wouldn't all mothers say that their child was a good boy and girl?
No, I don't say it to my children. No. I'm like, they're bad. All of them are bad. Just bad. Number 1, 2, and 3, bad.
That's funny. That's so funny. So,
That's
you want to hear more about that, or
that's awesome. So you're a pretty good kid, and
yeah.
What did you know at the time? What was the age when you really decided you were going to try to do something with your life? When did that start?
That's really cool. You know, I'm going to give you tie in two answers here.
Right.
I did notice when I was a kid that I was a really good writer.
Awesome.
Yeah, I would sit down and write, which I loved to do, and I would have this vast vocabulary just come out of nowhere, come out of left field. And I'm like, holy cow, and I'm typing away. Well, I was writing away at that time.
Right.
And, it was like, and then when I would step away from Notepad or the typewriter, that vocabulary, which I'm
Time out. Now, see, you said something there that most of our viewers are like, what did he just say? On a typewriter, Bill. You know what a typewriter is, Bill?
I know what a typewriter is.
You've seen it in the museum.
Right?
Yeah, in the museum, yeah, exactly.
I used to use a typewriter back in the day. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
That's funny.
He's been to the Smithsonian, thank goodness. So when I would step away from that, that vocabulary would go away. It was a really weird phenomenon, and so I did know at a young age that I loved to write, and I was really good at it. So, and then to answer your question, what was the question again?
When did you know that? Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. I think I knew at a very young age in grammar school that I was an artist first and foremost. I could sing like a tabernacle choir, you know, boy, you know, the high voice, you know.
I love it.
And in music class, you know, it was here's a word from the old days. It was queer, or
right.
something. It
right.
was like dumb or whatever to to sing, you know, if you were a boy. So I wouldn't dare do it, but then, you know, I'd let out a few things to let the teacher hear me in music class, and damned if I didn't catch her ear, and she had me stand up in front of the class and sing with another boy who had a tabernacle choir voice. And you know what? It was embarrassing, but really I loved it too. And so I did know at she's probably aged like 6 or 8 that I was an artist, and
right.
I loved being creative. And so then I knew that was my direction, though I didn't follow it at first. But
right.
Yeah.
Well, you know, my mom used to make me sing in the choir, so
yeah,
that was one of those deals, and I hated it, you know. And I used to try to cry in front of the whole congregation just to make her mad, and she would like just she'll wait for me, and everybody's come on, baby. I think that brought me out of my shyness, to be honest with you. Now, I just had that moment in time, boom, right then and there. I need to call her after this and ask her why she did that to me. Anyway,
nice.
So, who was the inspiration in your life, man, to make you get it all started? You know, because sometimes we start things, but we hear someone say something, or it just leads us to that direction. You know? Yeah.
I mean, I think I probably had a lot of inspirations and heroes, but what came to mind immediately as my first thought was my father.
Right.
He was a man who grew up, you know, in the poor side of town, and he was only educated to 7th grade, and yet he had a genius level IQ, and he studied, you know, out of school and got his GED, whatever you called it, you know, and then he got a degree, and then he got a job as a you know, supervisor in command aircraft, which was like very technical. You know, they built engines for helicopters and so on. So I looked up to him very much because he made things go right. You know.
Right.
And so I learned at a young age that you could make anything happen for yourself, even though maybe it wasn't loud and clear at that point. I respected the man a lot, and I think I'm like him in a lot of ways. And so yeah, it would definitely be my dad. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So having a book in your back pocket, so I'm jumping right into it. How great is that to have social status? Tell us about how important that is.
That is so great, man, because Thanks for this opportunity. You know, I really am like a zealot when it comes to this topic.
Right.
I'm like crazy. Oh my God, here it comes. Turn around. Like, make believe you don't. No, I'm just kidding. I know how powerful books are in how they can change a person's life. You know, especially if you're an entrepreneur, you know, and you have a service or a product, and you know, you're an expert at something, or you have something that can help improve lives of others, right?
Right.
So a book positions a person as an expert. The written word in book form is taken very seriously in literate societies, you know, which are all of the, you know, all of the speaking societies of the world. And you can look at books like the Bible and others that have really, really influenced societies and governments and so on. So to have a book of your own, even if, let's say, you want to be an author,
Right.
you know, the key thing is to have a quality book that communicates something of value, and then by doing that, you know, people look at a book already with reverence, and then you got to kind of really work hard to screw it up. you know, just have it be a mess and not, you know, be any good and everything. Then you change that person's mind. But people are open to the fact that, oh, this person must be an expert in what they're doing.
Right.
So, you know, if you know how to help people lose weight or make money or whatever it is, or you're a good fiction writer, you know, and you can move people and have them feel things and make their heart pound and so on. So in any way, shape, or form, people look at the author as in reverence and as someone who's very, very special. So it's very important to have a book in order to really rise up, you know, from the blur of it all, you know, because there are millions and millions of people, millions and millions of books, but if you have a quality book, you can rise like cream to the top and be noticed. It's really exciting.
Most definitely, man. That's great to hear that, because you know what? I was told that I needed a book in what I was doing, basically. If I'm selling like you know, videos or whatever, video marketing or whatever, I needed to have some type of status. So when I'm talking to my clients, they're going to listen to me, and I'll say, hey, this is me. And they're like, oh, okay, you must know something because you spent some time to educate other people. So therefore, I'll give you your 5 minutes of fame. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
so
right.
That's how I see it as, and it's worked for me because, you know, they listen because, oh, you think you must be an expert in this, you know? Well, I do know this. There are other smarter people than me, but I know some things. So you know,
right.
Awesome.
That's right. And here's an interesting point, Lem. A book, you know, you can only talk to so many people at once, right?
Oh yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah.
One person, 500 people, you know. Even 50,000. Let's say you're in some big arena, which would be very rare, right? Unless you're president of the United States or something, right? Or someone really, really famous, right? A book allows you to communicate your message, your truth, your passion, your inspiration, limitlessly, 24/7. So that's very powerful too. It's a sales tool, it's a PR tool, you know, public relations, and it's an educational tool. So it's everything wrapped in one. And then one other aspect about books that is really cool, when you're having a conversation, people have like a social discomfort. You know, it's like, you know, sometimes you just see a neighbor and you're like, they look away. It's like they just don't feel like talking, right? Right? It's so, you know, it can be uncomfortable. And so not everybody's as outgoing as you, Lem.
You know what? That's funny. You bring that up real quick, and I hate cutting you off, but I was just thinking how when my kids were younger, I could send them off like to a park, and they would, you know, play. I'll leave them alone. They come back. They'll have their kids meet me and say, "Hey, Dad, this is so and so." But you stick 5 adults in an elevator. Crickets all day long. You know what I mean? What happened to that in us? But you're right on the money with that, man.
Yeah. Awkward, you know.
Awkward, yes.
Silent.
I used to hate that. I love it now. Because what I do is when I get in the elevator, I'll turn around and just look at everybody. I'll be like, hey, how you doing?
Yeah, I know it.
They absolutely hate it.
If they make eye contact with me, I usually say, "Oh, I got you. So what's going on today?" And they're like, "Okay, I'm doing fine," you know. And everybody starts smiling like it's a big relief, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry, Robert.
Well, that's all right, man. I love tangents. In fact, I'm going to slip one in here too, because it was just happened last weekend. I was in. We were away, and I stepped into an elevator, and I'm an outgoing guy too, you know. And so I stepped in the elevator, and it was an elevator that required your hotel key, you know, or else it didn't work. So there's people already in there. They're not going anywhere because the thing's not working, right? So we step in, and I go, "Oh, you need a key to make this work." And they're like, "Oh my God, he's talking to us." And I'm like, and nobody acknowledges me, you know. So there's like 4 people in there, and I said, I didn't think maybe they didn't hear me. So I go, "See the key? You need to put it in, and then it'll work." You know, it's like really cool. And they're like, and this other guy starts giggling, and he's looking at his girlfriend, and he's going, "This guy's talking to us." Oh my God, you know. And I'm like, holy cow, these people like don't want to communicate, you know.
No, man, they don't.
So you know, it just backs up my point that there can be comfort. So, and another thing about conversation is you can say a word that somebody doesn't understand, and they kind of start going blank. It's like, what the heck is that, you know? And then all of a sudden you go like your volume is like off, and the guy's going, what should I have for dinner tonight? You lost them, right? So the whole communication cycle is like it just caves. But when a person reads a book, they're able to look up a word if they don't understand it, or they can go back and reread it again, or they can look in the glossary. So the ability to learn and apply something, especially if you're doing a speech, right? You can't even, like, the person can't say, "Hey, what does that mean? What is that?" You know. And so you can figure things out as the barriers come along. So the ability to learn and apply is much greater with a book. So that's a really important aspect about books as well.
That is awesome. So let me ask you this. Do you think each entrepreneur or business-like minded person should have a book?
I truly do. It's a huge mistake not to. And I swear, I'm not saying it because it's going to bring me business. Right. I say it because I believe it, and that's why I'm doing this. That's why I took a shift 16 years ago and started doing this, because I realized the power of books. So it is my passion and my purpose to get people to understand that books will explode your life. It'll explode your business. It'll explode your career. Whatever it is you're trying to do. I have a very famous doctor that is a client right now, and he works with stem cell research and bone stuff and so on. They're really cutting edge stuff, and he has a number of strong purposes behind his career, but he's actually sharing it with the world through a fiction book.
Wow.
So cool, because he gets to communicate things that he can't on a professional level.
Wow.
And so forth. Yeah, so it's so cool. So absolutely, it is the biggest mistake that anyone can do is to put off having a book, a well-written book written and published, to position themselves for what they believe in.
Yeah, man, I truly believe that. And, you know, I always tell most of my guys to go far and beyond, because you never know what that book or that whatever it is, press release or whatever it is you have out there is going to take you, because it all adds up later on into what you're doing. And I truly believe that too. I just wanted to hear you say it so everyone else can hear you, because sometimes they're like, Lemmy, whatever, Lemmy, Bill, whatever, Bill. But when I bring an expert on, y'all better listen now.
That's right. That's right. Lem and Bill are right.
Well, you know what? It's just reiteration for me that I need to finish it still. So, because I started it, but I haven't finished it yet. So.
Yeah. Well, good. And then here's the thing too. A lot of times we kind of shy away from it and keep putting it off. There's a reason behind that, you know. And it's more than just like no time, you know, and so forth. Because if something were necessary enough, we would get it done, right? So, you know, there can be things that you're not clarifying for yourself that may be slowing things down or making it more difficult, or you just don't. You really do have a busy life, and you don't have the time. So there are ways to help bring things along easier, even if it's only having another person to converse with. And if you think of like one person, another person as two leads of a generator or posts of a generator, and you start communicating back and forth, it really generates power. It's a funny thing, but it does. And I've done it before where I've spoken to people and I've sort of mentored them and been that sounding board. And it's like, well, what about this? Well, you can't have it do that because then that's not going to work out. Oh yeah, and then this and then that. And before you know it, there's 20 more better ideas that came up because of the conversation. You get out of your head, you know. And then one other way of doing it is to have an editor or a writer, you know, to be in there as well, to be involved. If you can't get it done, then you get it done another way, you know. But it was just a little bit of helpful information.
Right.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Speaking of getting it done another way, what would you suggest?
Well, I was just saying, like, you know, you can have someone mentor you.
Right.
So you converse. Just the lightest level would be communication. So you have someone who understands how a book should be put together, how the information should flow, what information should be there because of the goals and purposes of the book. See, the first thing that we do when a person comes on board is we have an intensive interview process where we ask key questions. You know, why should this book exist? Well, because I want to be an author. Well, okay, that's not good enough.
Right,
you know?
right.
And that people don't usually say that. I'm just being facetious here.
Right.
You know, but a lot of times people say, man, that's a really good question. I haven't really thought that through. So if you understand the purpose of your book is to get a person to stop taking drugs or to inspire people, and the next question would be, well, how do you want to inspire them? You know, so you get down to really clear, finite things, and when you understand what the book should do, now everything that you do after that is done to fulfill that purpose. So you have clarity, you stay focused, and you have drive and a clear view of where you're going with it. So it helps you to keep it moving along. So key questions can be asked along the way or in the beginning. There is that process I was telling you about. I do have that as a service where we just do that process. It's a fixed price. It's life changing. At the end of it, a person can go off and write their book, and they can write it fast, and they're going to write it better than they ever would have because they know what it's supposed to be, or they know everything that should be about it, even how they're going to market it, and they can then take it to a writer and say, this is exactly what I need. Here's a silver platter, you know. So that clarification stage is very, very powerful. I had a very young girl, Zoe, whose mom and dad I know, and she's been texting me recently through Facebook, and she's kind of a little bit writer's block. And so I've been talking to her a little bit as a friend, you know, not on a professional capacity because the parents are my friends. Right. And so, you know, it's always where a person can't get the beginning right, or they can't get the end right, or they can't get the middle right because they haven't answered particular questions that they need to clarify. So it's very, very powerful to do that.
Nice, nice. Robert, how long is the process to complete a book from start if you have everything you know that you're going to write about?
That's a great question. The average size book takes about a year. In our business, it usually takes between 1 to 2 years. It just kind of depends on, you know, a lot of our clients are, you know, professional athletes, high-powered attorneys, doctors, and so forth. So they're very busy, and sometimes they'll go off and be gone for a month, and they can't ask questions and so on. So things drag out. But I would say, you know, if you're looking at a 150-page book, 6 or 8 months. 250, 350, 500 pages, you're looking at a year to 2. And here's something that's interesting. Sometimes people will boast at how fast their book was written and so on. I don't know. I don't hear any whine you know, I don't know what they call them, wine brewer. What does a winery do? I don't know. Right. So, you know, making wine, right? They don't brag about the speed at which their wine is developed, right? It's no wine before their time and so on. So it's the same with a book. You have to sometimes, often actually, step away from the book and then come back to it and say, okay, is this doing what I thought it was doing when I was writing it? You know, because your mind has the complete vivid picture of all perceptions going on, and you're writing it down, but often we fail to write it all down so that the reader sees it, you know? So stepping back for maybe a week or a day or even an hour, and then you come back to it and it's like, oh man, there's so much missing, or this isn't the way I wanted it to sound, and so on. So there's a process. We go for walks a lot. We go for runs a lot, and so on. And a lot of times you clear your head and you get some space and you come up with more ideas and so on. So there's a time factor that has to be in there that's woven into the process. So it's not about writing a book fast, really. It's writing the greatest book that could ever be created for that topic, for that author. You know. Nice. Billy, you're on the right track, my man.
Yeah.
You've been writing this thing for a while. That's awesome news right there. See?
Awesome.
Now you have your go-to guy, Billy. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, this happened for a reason. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Just saying.
That's right. Just saying. You know. Awesome. So let me ask you this, because you know sometimes there's always people who just shy away of reaching their goal by a week. How many people have you worked with just completely didn't get their book done? Has there been any instances like that?
I have to think long and hard on that, because I make sure that my people, you know, succeed at what they do. They pay me handsomely, and you know, part of my responsibility, I feel, is to get them through. I had one project probably 10 years ago. No, maybe 14 years ago, 12 years ago. I've been doing this for 16 years. I wrote this most amazing, true autobiography. It was a true story. Oh my God, it was so good. This woman's life was I can't talk about it because of contractual things.
Yeah, got it.
But it was so a bestseller, and it was so going to be a movie. I mean, it was that story, right? And I was so happy and excited when I gave the manuscript to them, her and her husband. And the project got squashed by hubby. Yeah.
Oh, ain't a raid on you right there in Florida.
He said, wow. Oh, no, you ain't.
Right? Exactly. Wow.
I think he got scared that his wife was going to be famous. You know, it was like really creepy, man. But you know, it still pains me at this moment to bring it up, because the woman, you know, people become my friends.
Right.
Become very close, you know. And if you imagine talking to someone on a regular basis for a year or two, and this book took 2 years to write, you know, a lot. And then when a person is spilling their guts to you, especially with like a true story, right? You know, people cry. You know, we laugh, we cry. You know, it's the most incredible therapeutic process that you'd ever want to do,
right?
For like a life story, and it's even therapeutic for an entrepreneur, because they have to learn how to clarify what they're doing and understand it even more by taking them through a process to teach others. It's the other side of the table, and you got to look at it from the other side, and then deliver that information differently than doing it sort of automatically, you know. So the process of writing a book is very, very therapeutic and empowering. So that's the only thing I can really think of. Yeah, I mean, so I got an A+ rating. You know, my company's got an A+ rating. So no complaints so far.
You wouldn't be on here if you didn't have an A+ rating. Don't worry about that, brother. Well, I'm wondering, is that couple still together?
I don't know, man. I still haven't given up on it. So to be honest with you, you know, failure doesn't exist unless you give up, right?
That's true. So that is so true.
I truly believe them that this book will still come out, and it's one of the greatest books that I have ever written. So it's because it's a great story, you know what I mean? And so, you know, if you're given that to then, you know, be creative with, it's just incredible. So, you know, us talking about this kind of
I know. This is what we do, man.
well, you know, I'm rekindled here, and I'm gonna pursue it again, guys.
I was about to say you should try to revisit that conversation with the lady and let her say, "Hey, you know, I was just thinking about you. How you doing?" And don't really mention it. She'll probably go, "You know what? I was just thinking, Robert. I should get that." But you're like, "Yeah, you should."
Yeah.
You know.
That's right.
Because you know, sometimes in our profession, we have either our family members or you know, husband, wife doesn't really want you to succeed because they think nothing's going to come out or they're afraid, you know. And I always tell, hey, man, you got to do what you need to do. I mean, it just makes sense for her to go ahead and keep that process. I mean, because it's there. You mean, if it's that good, wow. You know what I mean? So
I know. So you're right, man. And I'm inspired. Thank you, guys.
Awesome. So 16 years ago, what made you start your company?
Yeah, that's great. Just to sort of set it up a little bit, the answer.
Right.
There's a guy I'm showing my age here, but there was a guy named George Plimpton. Billy's laughing, man. Billy's cracking
Black
up.
George Clinton with all the dreads.
No,
the musical guy. Oh, I'm about to say,
it's George Plimpton.
Oh, okay.
He was a multimillionaire, and he was famous for having done more jobs than anyone else in the world. Like he did so many things. He even paid to play in an NFL football game. Like he did so many things, jumping out of airplanes and all kinds of things, right? And so I always called myself the George Plimpton of the 90s because I had so many jobs. You know, I did so many things, you know. I was trying so many things as an entrepreneur, you know. But I did focus on a retail store for 18 years. I had a manufacturing company for 20 years. And, you know, the thing is in the middle of, it was like maybe in 1993, I'm standing in the middle of my retail store. And I looked around and I go, what the heck am I doing here? I'm an artist. So at that moment I said, man, I got to be true, you know, I got to be true to myself. So at that point I sort of made a decision or an affirmation that I was going to start heading in a truer direction, which was being an artist, right? So 2 years later, as luck would have it, Walmart had infiltrated the world, took over the world, and killed Main Street. You know, just stifled mom and pop shops, and we couldn't make a profit. We were selling more than ever, but we weren't making any profit. So it was a very degrading experience toward the end. You know, six-figure gross income and ending up with like $23,000, which was like, you know, we can't even like live on that, right? So I could have sold the store for a lot of money, obviously for 18 years and so on. But in all honesty, I felt that I would be selling something that I felt was failing. So we just closed the doors. And at that point, I'm at square zero, guys. And I'm in mid my life. I have a family. It's like, well, I can't go back to college. I have really limited things to do here. And so my wife, who was from California, was freezing her butt off in Connecticut. She says, why don't we move to Florida? we got nothing holding us here now. So long story short, we do. And I'm actually going to plug in my manufacturing company down here, and that was the plan because it was the quickest way to start making money again. And so we get down here, and I go, man, this is my opportunity to really bite the bullet and start being creative again. So it was like 1998. We moved down, and so I said, okay, that's it. I'm gonna do it. So I'm looking. I'm going, okay, I can paint, I can sculpt, I can, you know, do different things. It's like, what would be the smartest way to you know, make money fast, you know? And so it's like, well, I got to paint a bunch of paintings, and then I got to show the paint, have a show and everything. It's like too long of a runway. So I go, man, I love to write. Okay, I'm going to be a writer.
Nice.
I'm a writer. And there's a really cool story, guys. It's amazing the power of decision.
Right.
I know no one, right? We're brand new in Florida. We're just like kind of walking around like, where am I, you know? And I run into a guy. His name is Dave. You know, hey man, nice to meet you. Yeah, take it easy, man. See you around, right? That's all. Just in passing.
Right.
You know, you hear about. You never know who you're talking to, right?
That is so true.
Yeah. 5 days later, guys, Dave calls me up. And he says, "Hey, Rob, we're starting a .com. You know, this is during the tech stock craze, the .com craze." He goes, "We're looking for a writer. Do you know any writers?" I go, "Dave, I'm a writer." So he goes, "Dude, really? Oh my God, you gotta come down and meet Laura, the CEO." So like we make an appointment. I go down and I gave the truth. You know, I said, "Look, I'm a really good writer. You know, I'm just starting out here, but I can do this. I can do this. What you need." So I got hired on the spot, guys, and I started learning the ropes. But you know, I wrote for my companies, you know, my store and everything. I wrote press releases and feature articles that were featured in serious magazines, you know.
Right.
And so you know, I was already writing, but this was technical manuals that I started out with. So long story long, that's how I got into it, man.
Wow. That is, you know, that is so important, man, and to actually get out and meet people, because you never know whose hand you're shaking or whose voice you're hearing or talking to or breaking bread with. You never know. I mean, it is so important because this world is full of people with great ideas and lots of great passion for what they do, and they might need you or a connection. Wow. That is so awesome.
It's true.
Was there a point in time when you were growing your business, did you want to ever give up? Was there? I know there's probably some times where there's like, maybe I need to do this instead of, you know, maintaining my writing. Or was there ever a time?
That's a great question. Yes. Well, you know, it took a lot of guts, right, to do something new, right? But it's usually a thing in life where you look and you go, I have no choice. You know what I mean? It was like, you know, I have no choice. It's like I just need to make it go right, you know. So like it was feast or famine, you know. It was like, well, it sort of extends this next story about my next chapter in writing. I'm about to be a millionaire. I was the 12th employee of this company. I was there in the beginning.
Right.
We're up to 86 employees now. 2 years later. I have 36,000 stocks that I've been awarded because I've been like a powerhouse to the company and everything, and you know, spiking out their downloads and everything from my articles and stuff, and you know, I wrote a feature article that went into Mobile Beat magazine, you know, and all. You know, it's just so much fun, and so you know, it's bringing this company out of non-existence, and so the 8 weeks before we're supposed to go public, which I'm going to instantly be, you know, well off.
Right.
I got all these plans, you know. I'm like, oh man, I'm going to do all these things.
Yes, I'm feeling you right now, man. We're going through some stuff, but yeah, I feel you. You're like got my heart beating over here. Keep going. Go ahead.
Let me continue. So we find out, okay, all of a sudden the tech stocks, you know, the bubble pops. It's like, .coms are dead, man. They're dead to the investors, you know, because it's like, wait a minute, nobody's selling anything around here. What the hell?
Right.
No, it's like we're giving you all this money, you're not selling anything. You're just looking for eyeballs on websites. So, so all of a sudden, we're all going into HR getting laid off.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So they laid off like 74 people within like a 3-day period. Everybody's crying and like, you know, pissed off at everything, right? So now this is 2 weeks before Christmas.
Oh my God.
Wait for it. 1 week before closing on my first home.
Oh.
Oh my God.
So I'm like, okay.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, do I not get the home. You know, everything's just unfolding before my eyes, right? It's crumbling. So I'm like, okay, no choice. I got to make it go right. So I get the house because it's like, no, I'm going to get my first home, you know. And
Nice.
we're
Good
still
job,
in it.
sir.
Yeah, we're still in it today. You know, it's a wonderful story. But I really, it kind of hit you hard, you know, because it's like you get lifted up and it's like, you know, you're going to have a substantial amount of money. You feel that power and all of a sudden they go, no, nope, you know. And so you know, we made it through Christmas. We bought, you know, gifts for my son and so forth. So, but I came out, guys, and I said, never again will I work for someone, because that was the only time. Well, there were little stints where I had when I first closed the store, I went to work at Foxwoods Casino for 6 months just to bring in the bacon, but never anything permanent. And so I'm like, never again, because as a seasoned entrepreneur, I saw so many mistakes happening, and no one would listen to me because I was the lowly writer, you know.
Right.
So I came home, and I had learned some web stuff and so forth when I was there, because it was a very technical company. And so I put up a website, writerservices.net, and I said, that's it, full steam ahead here, man, totally committed. Because really, what I had done was, when I went to work for somebody, I had sort of given up as an entrepreneur. It's an interesting point. And I relinquished my power to someone else. You know what I mean? I said, someone else is going to make my life better. And it was the worst thing I ever did in my life, guys. It was the dumbest thing I ever did, because my life really crashed because I put my power into others.
Yep.
So I lost control. So I got it back, you know, and then from there forward, I just kept going and going and going, and got my first book and second book, and now I've written close to 60 books, and I've got a whole company of editors, proofreaders, cover designers, and so forth. So it's all sort of come to fruition.
That is awesome, man. That is so good to hear. Wow, you know, 2 weeks before Christmas, you're about to get a house. You know, everybody in the family's like, "Yeah, Christmas, baby. You're in Florida too. It's great." You know what I mean?
Yeah. Complete culture shock.
Gosh, when you said that, that brought me back, because I remember when I just moved to Dallas, I was supposed to plan the love of my life a trip to Cancun, right? Yeah. And I kid you not, 5 days before I was supposed to book that trip, I was called into one of the coaching offices that says they're going out of business. Oh. I was like, what? I just came from Arkansas to Dallas to get a job, and now you tell me I'm going out of business, and I'm supposed to plan a trip? And I didn't know what I was going to do, but I went ahead and still planned that trip, and I had the best time on vacation, and I didn't think about anything at all, and it all worked out, because I'm like, you know what, forget this, man, it'll work out, and it did. Yeah. I didn't freak, I didn't panic, and man, it's so good to hear you went ahead and bought that house, because I think we as people, like I said, children used to dream, and they can get along with everyone, and we lose that part of ourselves, and we just like give up, and you know, everybody's, oh, you need this, you need that. No, you need to dream and believe and get it done. Wow, that is awesome, man. That is awesome.
There's actually a story about that exact thing. What most people don't know is Andrew Carnegie used to do that. He used to take 3 months every year and go to Scotland. Yep. He said, don't bother me, and he would just leave.
He's like, I'm going.
Yeah, and that was his focus time. You know?
Wow. That is awesome. Awesome. So that tied into my other question, which is good. So if you can go back and do it all over again, what would you do different?
Oh, wow. You over. You over. I would actually start out young. Two things, man. Two things. I would start out young as a writer. I would have just started out my life like my first job would have been being a writer, being an author. Just, you know, if that could even happen. You know, it's sort of like life had to occur in order to come to that point, you know. But yeah, if I could know what I know now, I would absolutely just do this my entire life, because I really love my life now.
Right.
Yeah, and Oh man, it was another good point. I can't think of it. It might come to me, but I don't know how much more time you got. But I'm here all day, man. If you want.
He's like, I'm here all day. That is awesome. That is awesome. Wow. So this is just a simple question, and I do this because of Bill. But what's your favorite meat? Do you eat meats, Robert? You look like a pretty lean guy. I mean, do you eat meat at all?
I'm carnivore.
Ah, good.
I'm a carnivore. Well, part of my youth, bringing that back, I grew up in a family of businesses, right? So I did learn at a very young age. I mean, 9 years old, I'm like pricing, cans of soup and putting it up on the shelves and everything. So I was learning business at a very young age, we in the family we had a meat market. So I grew up meat and potatoes for sure. But I will say, my archy crunchy wife from California,
Right.
she got me into eating rabbit food, and I used to sort of eat it because she did, and that would be something on the side that you kind of just take a few munches of. But now, when I start a meal, I go at the salad first, and I pile it up, and I love greens now. Really, thank goodness to my wife. But I still know that protein's important, and healthy carbs are important. Not the processed foods, and so yeah, you can eat right, and I think it's important too. Brings up the point about being a good entrepreneur and being a good writer and stuff. You gotta fuel the body right, right? So you have a clear head, and you can be very cognizant and so on, and have a lot of energy. So.
Right.
So yeah, I'm a well-eating carnivore.
So, as a human being, I know we sometimes wake up in a bad mood for some reason. I don't know why. I do sometimes, but you know what? I wake up, and if I'm in a bad mood, I will always look in the mirror and just smile and laugh and think about something dumb that happened in the past, and then I just go from there. How do you get yourself into that mode of being in a positive mood? Because as a writer, I know you have to get yourself in a certain mind frame. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
how do you do that?
I drink a lot of coffee.
Stimulant, I love it.
But let me give you more. That's a really cool point, because we do sort of have to face the day, right? And
Right.
and things aren't always going the way we want them to. I always keep my eye on my goals, what I'm trying to create. So I always got a game going, and so I don't know when the last time was that I did not bounce out of bed.
Right.
I bounce out of bed, and I do catch myself sometimes, and I'll go, I'm just gonna roll over and sleep another half hour because I don't want to face what I have to do today or something. But then I go, wait a minute, what is the result of that, And so I don't look at the chore, I look at the end game. And I swear, guys, I bounce out of bed every day. As soon as I do that, I wake up and I just bounce out of bed. And it's like, let's go, It's sort of like the team, that they growl before they go out and football team.
Oh my.
Yeah, man. Wow, this has been awesome. What do you have? Do you have any tips for those who really want to write a book? What should they start to do, really? Though, let's get down to the bread and butter of this before we end. If a person like me or any of our audience wanted to start to write a book about what they're doing or something, what should they do first, Robert?
Well, that's cool. I mean, there's so many first things that you could do, but I think one of the most important things is I see where most people doubt themselves. They doubt their expertise. They doubt that others would want to know or read about what they have experienced or what they know, right? So you have to get over that self-doubt and understand. So sort of like validate the fact that your book would be awesome. So you can do that by asking others, hey, what do you think? I'm thinking about writing book and sharing valuable information about such and such, or I want to write a book about an experience I had in my life where I overcame, meth addiction or something, which actually is one of my clients, and and I want to inspire others, like give the purpose behind it, or hopefully they know what it is, but if they talk to me, they will. But it's sort of like you want to get over that doubt phase so that you're sort of a rock about it. Another way is to look and say and understand that we take our abilities. Everybody's got abilities. Everybody. There was a mentally retarded boy in grammar school who was the greatest writer you would ever want to read.
Wow.
Everyone has an ability. Everybody. If you haven't found it, then you need to look for it, right?
Right.
So the thing is that what we do that we're really good at, we often think, we don't think much of it, and we think everybody else can do it. But it's not true. And what makes the world go round, we need each other. And that's another passion I have about books. We need to share our valuable experience or our valuable information or our understanding or our overcoming of things with one another. And that's what it will improve the world. And so we have to get over the thought of, oh, no one would care, no one would want to know. The truth is what you know, others don't. And then another thing that people will do is, oh, there's already been a book written about it. I don't care if there's 1,000 books written about it.
They haven't heard of your way. Yeah, that's right.
Right. I mean, your book is a snowflake. It's like different than all others because you have a perspective, unique. You are different. All of us are different, right? So that unique perspective will share things in a different way and will resonate with certain group of people, So I would say the first thing you need to do is get over the self-doubt. So, if you want to get technical, I can go over some things of what you can do, with topic lists and stuff. But that's really key,
Right. And that's the bottom line, is just getting started, not even worrying about what others will say or what others will, negative input or whatever, that's facing your way. Just get it done. Oh, and that is a great point there, because I think all of us start out every day with caring about what others are going to say, even when we're trying to go, market our business or whatever. But it's bottom line, you need to go with blinders on and have your goal at the end of that, tunnel. I'm reaching that goal there today or this week or this year. I'm going after it regardless of what people are going to say, because that's going to
absolutely, absolutely, man. It's sort of like we never leave the schoolyard. You know what I mean? And it's time to grow up or whatever, get a pair, whatever you want to say.
Grow a pair.
Grow a pair. Grow a pair. I'm being joking again, but it's like, and my wife will be the first to tell you I drove her nuts the first half of our marriage because I tried to please everybody. And I had to have everybody's agreement, man. I don't care if it was Adolf Hitler, it was just like I had to have everybody's agreement. It was crazy. And, I finally got over that. And when you do that, what it is it's a point of self-integrity.
Yep.
So it's like, you know what? You don't have to seek approval from others. Because you cannot get 100% approval.
No, you can't.
So associate yourself with like-minded people, and you will live a happy life, So, and that's the thing. And then don't try to write for everyone. You got to realize that there is an audience out there who needs and wants what you have, and so go that route, and just understand that the truth. It's sort of like the funny thing of sometimes I see like a woman thinks that their marriage should be a fairy tale, and their life should be a fairy tale.
Right.
And they're setting themselves up for a loss, right? Because
yes.
It's a fairy tale. So the point is that you want to have a realistic perspective,
right,
of your book and your life and so on. So that's important. Correct expectations, and that's one of the things I do when I consult and mentor people. I get them to have correct expectations.
I get mad at my wife because she watches that stupid stuff on ABC. What is it? Paradise? No, not Paradise. What is it? Bachelor and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there going, are you seriously watching this? And her and her friends are texting each other, oh, you watching tonight? I can't believe it. And they even have these parties over my house watching it. And I'm like, no, this is dumb. This is why relationships today have issues, because you guys are watching this stuff that's fabricated on TV and you're believing it. You think that's what it should be. And then always a year later, there's some scandal going on that couple that got together and it didn't work out because you cannot put that stuff together like that. You know?
Yeah.
Totally. That's so.
Speaking of that, how much TV do you watch, Robert?
Not nearly as much, I think, as the average Joe. I use TV. I don't watch it all day long.
Right.
The TV doesn't come on until about 9 at night, and I use it to sort of zone out and just relax. And you know what the last show is that I watch almost every single night?
Mine is Seinfeld. What's yours?
Bob Ross. You know the painter? Bob Ross.
Oh, yeah. I never knew that one.
He has the afro, right? And he's the sweetest, softest speaking man. We call him the Sandman.
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
Because he, you know, it's aesthetics, and he, you know, it's fabulous to watch him, and he talks so quietly, and he talks not any more than about that, you know.
Right.
So we fall asleep within like 15 minutes, you know, practically sucking our thumbs because it's just like so relaxing, and so, and we just go to bed, you know. So I probably watch an hour. A long night would be 2 hours, but that's it. You know, it's usually about an hour before we go to bed.
Man, it's mandatory for me to watch something positive or something that makes me laugh before I go to sleep, because I just have to. And I'm in the bed, I'm giggling, I'm like, ah, because I'm a loud person anyway. She gives me the nudge, and I'm like, you know. But and then she'll wake up and she'll say, what were you watching last night? And then I'll go talk about it. But yeah, man, I think it's important to watch something at night before I go to sleep that makes me laugh, you know. And I was just curious, and you know, how much. I don't watch a lot of TV. I don't turn it on unless it's in front of me, unless they do it. You know, I'm like, really? And then I plug in. You know, so
cool. Well,
man.
That brings up a good point too. I was always a late to bed kind of a guy. Like I never went to bed before midnight, you know, and I'd be 12, 1 o'clock. But what did start to happen is we watched a little more TV at night, and so that's not productive, right? So we go to bed now much earlier, and oh my gosh, has productivity increased so much, because you're freshest in the morning, you know, and if you're getting up at 5:30, 6 o'clock versus maybe 8:30 or something, and you get right down to business, then it's more productive. So instead of like watching TV, you know, you do the other. But you're so right about the positiveness. Sometimes you know, on a weekend we might watch some like crazy ass movie, you know, and we have nightmares all night, you know. We're like and practically punching each other, you know. So yeah, something to be said about positive at the end. That's a great point. Yeah.
Right. Speaking of business, I get in trouble sometimes because I stay down here too late. I'm like, oh, sorry, I'm talking to Bill and all them, you know. That is so awesome, man. This has been fun. I want to thank you once again for coming on, man. I got to have you back. Let me ask you this. Do you do normal speaking gigs?
Well, I'd love to come back, by the way. I've had a blast, too. Thanks.
Right.
You know, it's funny. I haven't yet, and I've got so many things going, you know, because I do own 2 different companies. I have ownership in a publishing company, too. But I really do want to speak. I really do. So I just need to speak to the right person who could say, yeah, you just do this and that, and then so I don't have to really, you know, maybe spend a ton of time studying up on it. Right. But it is something I would love to do. And so I don't know if you see something in me.
Oh, yeah, I'm asking you this because Bill and I in a group, we're going to set up some type of awesome event. And I'm always looking for different selective people, and I just know good people, and I feel it would be a fit for the group. And I'm thinking, we got to get Robert on. He's got to invite him to come and talk to our people. You know what I mean? Because it's just one of those deals that I would sit and listen to you in the audience, and from this whole hour, I know we can keep talking all day long, and I never go past 10 on 1, but still I'm like, yeah, I got to get him. You know what I mean? I just know. It's just one of those deals. So, yeah, you should actually try to – you probably won't have to study up, man. I mean, for what the information that you've learned and all the things you've gathered, I know it will be helpful, especially if we had a great mastermind group or event that we could put on, and we would love to have you. That's something you need to keep in the back of your mind.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, absolutely. You're right. You know, it would be more of just putting together a message, you know, and and something to make a point with. And I definitely have that. And so I really do have a lot of passionate things that others should know, and it's life-changing things, you know. So yeah, that would be awesome, and that would be a great way for me to start. I'm sure once I did it, I would be like totally hooked. You know?
Yeah. See, we didn't get to cover all the stuff that I wanted to talk about, but I'm like, hey, all right. But yeah, man. Bill, you have anything else you want to mention or say?
Not really. I think it's been a great. I learned a lot and I got a lot. So
awesome. I knew Bill would love this particular show here, episode. So that is awesome. Robert, how can we find you? How can we connect with you?
Well, we have a wonderful Facebook fan page, Writer Services LLC.
Right.
And writerservices.net is my company's website, and I wrote every word there, and it's really informative. My email is robert@writerservices.net. So that's probably, you know, the best ways. And then, you know, I'm on Google Plus and you know, Twitter also. So yeah. Does that answer your question sufficiently?
Oh yeah, that's awesome. And let me ask you this randomly, because I know a lot of copywriters. Are you looking for copywriters or anything, or do you connect with other copywriters or anything like that?
Like sales copy?
Yes.
Yeah, we're always looking for really talented people, you know.
Awesome.
Yeah, I have a big stable of just wonderful people. We're a closely knit group. There's people all over the world, you know. My graphic artist for cover design is from Brazil, you know. And
wow.
It's one of the nice things about my company is there are no boundaries, you know, because it's internet based really. I mean, we get 90%, maybe 95% of our business from the internet, and the rest is postcards. But so people are inquiring all the time, and they go to the website, they see it's like this passionate company, and they want to work for us. So but we're really particular, and you know, every product, man, it has to go through my stamp of approval because it's my name and so on, you know. Yeah, so yeah, definitely looking for more copywriters. Yeah. Why, are you one or what?
No. I just know a few that are awesome, and they are entrepreneurs, but you never know, they might want to work with a well-established company, and I'm always telling them you should pursue that, you know. And with me knowing how great you are and all, I would send them your way. Now, if they suck, that's not my problem, okay? I'm just doing the favor, you know what I mean? I'm just sending it. I'm telling them, hey, if you don't like you don't like you. Sorry, bro.
I'm just saying, I'm the middleman here. I'm just trying to make love here.
Exactly. He's either going to love me or hate me or think, Lynn, what the hell were you doing sending him to me? Wow. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, man. We're going to have the information that you laid out on the Saturday Cup of Joe page that we have. Also, guys, connect with Mr. Robert. This has been an awesome Cup of Joe this morning. I'm pumped up. I've learned a lot. We've got to have you back, but I still want you to keep in mind about that event I was talking about. And also, make sure you try to get a hold of that person we were talking about in the beginning, man. Because I think that needs to be something that's brought up again, you know?
Yeah, I will keep you updated on that, man.
Awesome. All right. Well, guys, once again, thank you for joining us today. I hope you have a happy and blessed weekend. Bill, quit being so busy this week. Take some time off, man. I know you're just in some stuff right now, Bill, so
Shoot.
you need time. Yeah, because Bill's going through some stuff. Anyway, shouts out to Sloan. Shouts out to Mike Wall. Owen, happy birthday, late birthday. And who else am I missing? I think that's about it. And thank you, Rebecca, for putting this on behind the scenes. I really do appreciate you for helping me out. And wow, what most of y'all don't know is Robin hasn't done a Google Hangout in how many years?
I've done one, and it was 4 years ago.
4 years ago. Wow. So that lets you tell you, well, I'm privileged to have. I'm just so grateful to have you on here, man.
No problem.
Right.
I had a blast. Thank you so much.
All right, guys. Well, we'll see you guys next week, same time, same place, and we'll talk to you guys later. All right, see you guys.
Bye.